What's up, pen friends? Got a lot of free time on my hands today. Basically, no ink on my fingers. Still going to use that free time to talk about that ink. And today, that ink is one that we have to mourn, because today is a discontinued ink. Pilot Iroshizuku Tsutsuji. Pilot's Iroshizuku line is Pilot's upscale line of ink. They are known for their quality, their lubrication, and the fancy bottles and packaging that they come in. Pilot limits the Iroshizuku line to 24 colors at any one time, and approximately 700 of them have to be blue. So when Pilot wants to add another blue, they discontinue a color to make room. Sometimes they even accidentally replace colors with something other than blue, but that's not very common. Tsusuji is not blue, and even though it was well loved and a very pretty color, someone at Pilot realized Tsutsuji isn't blue, so they discontinued it so they could make room for Rika, another blue. And that, I think, is a shame, because Tsutsuji is an absolutely gorgeous magenta. Now, Iroshizuku inks come in these sizes, 15 milliliters and 50 milliliters. They also come in Pilot's proprietary cartridges. The price doesn't matter for these because you can't buy them anymore, and if you do, you're buying them secondhand after they're discontinued, so the prices will vary wildly. Iroshizuku bottles are gorgeous. Their packaging is equally gorgeous. They are very clean, very minimal, very elegant. I think that of all the packaging, of all the bottles in the ink world, Iroshizuku's might be the nicest. Their bottles are sturdy, they're glass, they look nice, they have this little dimple in the bottom of them, so you can easily dip your pen in to fill when your ink is getting low. But none of that really matters because you can't buy this. But we're still going to go over this ink, so let's go over it. Here are my writing samples. This is Graphilo paper. This is Clairefontaine paper. This is Tomoe River paper. And this is B7 paper, which is not B7 size. The name of the paper is B7, which is a stupid name, but it's a great paper. So, Iroshizuku inks are very well lubricated, but somehow they seem to always manage not to make them take too long to dry, and they don't bleed or feather more than average. Tsutsuji seems to dry at around 20 seconds on all of my testing, except for Graphilo, which always takes forever. This one took a little bit under 30 seconds to dry. They didn't bleed or feather on any of the tests that I did, except for a little bit of feathering on Muji paper. But Muji is the bottom tier of fountain pen friendliness, so that can be expected a little bit more on Muji, and I wouldn't hold that against this ink. As for the flow, Tsutsuji isn't as wet as some other Iroshizuku inks that I've tried, but it is still wetter than most inks. So I would say that it is wet, but it is not the wettest. It is one of the shadiest inks, but shady in a good way. This ink looks gorgeous when you get it to shade. You will have spots of bright, vibrant magenta with darker areas that are bordering on being a red. And to make that red look even more red is the gold sheen that you get in a halo around the darker spots. But that sheen shows up on pretty much every paper, even some more absorbent paper. However, on paper that really doesn't like to show off ink properties, instead of sheening, it'll just make the ink look more red consistently. I think that Tsutsuji is pretty readable, but it is not the darkest ink, so I would say that it is super readable, but you might have trouble in the wrong situation. And it is not very permanent. It is very lubricated and it's very easy to clean. But on all of these papers, I was able to recover just a hint of the lines within the splotch of wetness. I wouldn't count on that. I always recommend that you don't get your paper wet, but if you're desperate to recover what you wrote, there is a decent chance you might be able to recover some of the lines, but not all of it, and try to avoid that. Now, instead of a writing sample and swatches, I'm going to do a drawing sample because I find that more fun and I don't find swatches to be very useful. They're pretty, but they don't really show how an ink will look when you use it out of a pen. So, this is me using it out of a pen. Tsutsuji is a gorgeous magenta with a very striking gold sheen. It shades beautifully and looks like it glows with that sheen on some paper. Iroshizuku inks are well known for being wet, and Tsusuji is no different. It flows wonderfully, and despite flowing so well, it doesn't behave poorly on anything but the absolute worst paper. You won't get bleeding and you won't get feathering. Iroshizuku inks are all a little bit on the pricey side, but Tsutsuji doesn't count because it's been discontinued, so the prices that you find will vary. But it would still be worth it if you could still buy it. Unfortunately, Pilot limits the Iroshizuku line to 24 colors and 700 of them have to be blue. They wanted to add Rika, so they sacrificed Tsutsuji. If you can find Tsutsuji, the price is probably still worth it unless it's an exorbitant price. I would say for bung box prices, $45, this would be a steal. Anything above that, your mileage may vary. You'd have to think about how much you like this color. I love this color, and I'm glad I have bottles of it, and I will be sad when they run out. I think if you can find it, try to snatch it up, but don't spend too much money on it because it's just an ink. Anyway, that's Tsutsuji. Rest in peace. Thumbs up to pay your respects. Smash the bell icon, all the YouTube junk. Links to my blog and my Instagram are down below, and even further down below is a comment section. If you've got any comments, if you've got any criticisms, suggestions, stuff that you want to see in my reviews that I haven't been including, anything at all, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, because I want to improve. Well, that's all. Rest in peace, Tsutsuji. I hope you have the best day. Goodbye.